guys get these questions a lot? How many of you guys would love to know the facts, the science behind these things, and be able to tackle these questions head on with confidence? Put your hand right up. Yeah? Well, that's my job for you guys here today. I'm going to show you some science. I'm going to show you some facts and statistics. I'm going to show you why, beyond a shadow of a doubt, every single person in this room needs to be on some kind of multivitamin, and every single person in Jakarta needs to be on some kind of multivitamin. Does that make sense, guys? And I'm going to show it to you with actual science, not with stories, not with how good this product was for me, or how good it was for my friend, but with actual facts. So you can talk to doctors, you can go talk to professionals, you can talk to medical professionals, and you can show them why they, if they think supplements are unnecessary, are completely wrong. I'm going to say that now. If any medical professional still tells you you don't need supplements, they are wrong. Without a shadow of a doubt. Hands up any medical professionals in the room. Any? Okay, that's fine. If there was, I would need your help too, because you can back me up. Because the science and the changing landscape is very, very rapid. 20 years ago, there was a lot of science done, right? So, what the science used to say 20 years ago, what did they used to say? Well, actually 20 years ago, more than 20, 30 years ago, in the 1980s, the science actually used to say we don't need supplements. Did you know that? In the 1980s, the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, alright? This is the Journal of the American Medical Association. They are very conservative. Do you guys know what I mean by conservative? You guys know what I mean by conservative, right? They're not very radical, they don't believe in these new things, they want proof, they want facts. In the 1980s, they completed a comprehensive review of supplementation, and they said, you don't need a nutritional supplement. And for more than 30, 40 years after that, they did not change their stance. And that has a stance that has lasted more than 50 years, starting in the early 1950s, all the way to the 80s into the 2000s, where they believed, and all medical professionals believed, we do not need nutritional supplements. If you eat an adequate diet of fruits and vegetables, you have all the nutrition that you need. All right, that's what the science used to say. However, in 2002, something amazing happened. Something amazing happened. There was a study published, the first of its kind, which actually went against the last 50 years of what JAMA has been telling people and telling doctors. So what happened? Key nutrients were studied: vitamin A's, the B's, B6 and 12, C's, D's, E, vitamin K, folic acid, a lot of carotenoids. If you guys don't know what carotenoids are, they're antioxidants. Alright, alpha, beta carotene, cryptoxanthin, zeaxanthin, lycopene, lutein. Right? They studied all these nutrients, and this is what they found. They found that they impact everything. These nutrients impacted everything. From proper homocysteine metabolism, risk of heart disease, neural tube defects, cancer, osteoporosis, neurological disorders, anemia, prostate cancer, and your entire immune system. So what happened? This study was actually published in JAMA. For 50 years, JAMA's every single one of their things on nutrition had said, no, don't take supplements. No, don't take supplements. But in 2002, this study was released, and this is what they said. Pending strong medical evidence from randomized trials, it appears prudent for all adults to take a vitamin supplement. Here's the link if you don't believe me. This is the source. I've sourced everything I put up here. Robert H. Fletcher, this is in the Journal of Medical Association 2002, 287th volume. This is scientific evidence. They've released this study after 50 years of saying don't take supplements. They reversed their stance, and they actually allowed a study like this through. So what does that mean? The landscape is changing. The science is evolving. What we thought we used to know about the human body and science and nutrition has completely changed over the last few years. And what else? Another thing they looked into was actual disease prevention. All of us grew up believing that if we ate a reasonable diet, that would take care of our vitamin needs. But the new evidence, much of it in the last couple of years, is that vitamins also prevent the usual disease we deal with: heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis, and birth defects. So as you can see, diseases are getting worse and worse and worse. True, a total change of 17.2%, with 89% of all deaths coming from degenerative disease. More than 89% of all deaths coming from degenerative disease alone. 89%. Can you believe that, guys? That means 9 out of 10 people in this world who die don't die from freak shark accidents or planes crashes or car crashes or murders or anything like that, or terrorist attacks or anything like that. They die from degenerative disease. Now, why is the science before that so against supplementation? Well, that's the problem with the entire medical profession, because they are disease-focused. Do you guys want to understand what I mean by disease-focused? They want to see a person with a certain disease, take a certain vitamin, and then get better from that vitamin. Does that make sense, guys? They're coming from a disease-centralized focus in their studies and in their science. However, nutritional supplements are in the prevention. We're in prevention centralized. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? Yes? Hello?
Yes.
Awesome. Can I get a bit of energy, guys?
Yes.
Anybody here like talking to themselves? I don't like talking to myself either, so please help me out, okay? Awesome. All right. And it's not just that. I want to show you guys a bit of extra stuff. Now, you know, USANA is an amazing company with our own scientific team. And one thing they do is they put together amazing resources, documents, and actual clinical trials and studies for you to review through. So I came across this many years ago, and it completely blew my mind. I want to show you guys this too. So USANA has this on their website. It is a 51-page document. When it first started, it was about 27 pages. It's gone up to about 51 pages document. And it talks about the health benefits of nutritional supplements. And what is actually inside here is a list of citations of study after study after study after study after study after study after study of clinical trials, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trials for the scientists who know what I'm talking about, on the use of supplementations and their effects on the human health. 51 pages of citation after citation saying using supplements will improve your health. Using supplements will benefit your conditions. Using supplements will help you prevent certain illnesses and diseases. Do you guys need any more proof? Anybody need any more proof? Some of you guys agree nutritional supplements are absolutely necessary. Put your hand right up if you believe so. Yeah. This is what the science is saying now. Maybe 50 years ago you wouldn't be able to find this because they haven't done the science yet. But today, it is study after study. So any doctor today who still says you don't need supplements, tell them to go read some science. Because I'm telling you now, the world is changing. What we know is changing. And if they're not keeping up, if they did their medical degrees 30, 40 years ago in a university that no longer exists, who are they to tell you what you need for your health? We need to take our health into our own hands, and this is what the science and what self-research will find. You will find this is absolutely true. So I'm going to go back to my slide here. All right? So let's continue talking about what is actually happening with the health landscape, all right? So previously we were told that we could eat fruits and vegetables. You come across a lot of people, right, who says that if I eat my fruits and vegetables, I'm okay. Hands up, yeah? Many people will see that, come across people like that. They say, I'm just going to go and buy the very few organic or hydroponic stuff that I can find in the stores here and I'll be fine. How many people tell you that? Yeah? So how would you like to show them how that they're making a grave error in the judgment of their health? 9 out of 10 people in the world die from a degenerative disease. And these are brought on from nutritional deficiencies. And so if you don't take a nutritional, you're basically tossing a coin and hoping up that it lands in their heads or tails and praying you're the 1 in 10 who doesn't get one of these diseases. How do you guys like your odds? 1 in 10 chance of not getting a degenerative disease. Nobody likes those odds, right? But do you know what the study showed? The study shows that long-term use of nutritional supplements in excess of 10, 20, 30 years reduces the rates of disease by 70, 80, and up to 90% for things like diabetes. But you need to take it for at least 10, 20, or at least long-term. Prevention is long-term. So the fact that you guys have started using USANA now is amazing. So give yourselves a huge round of applause. Because you're actually doing something for your health. You're actually doing something, but you're not risking. You're not leaving it up to chance. Maybe if I eat healthy, maybe if I exercise, maybe I can prevent disease. But there is no scientific studies that says it's 100%. Nothing is 100%. So to give yourself the best chance, eat well, eat healthy, exercise regularly, sleep as much as you can, drink a lot of water, and use a nutritional supplement. So let's take a look at what people actually say and what they actually mean. So when they say we eat enough fruits and vegetables, what is the actual problem with that? Well, the problem with these things is that there's these things out there called the RDA and the DRI and the ODI. Apart from a whole bunch of English letters, let me tell you what these actually mean. So let's start with the RDAs. So the RDAs are the recommended dietary intake, or the recommended daily allowance. Now this is what has been used by every single person, every doctor. Nutritionists use these even to set food standards. However, the problem is these were set in 1941. These were set in 1941 during the Second World War to provide the American citizens with better nutrition. In 1941. They were updated again in 1961 and 1968, and those were the ones that we were using now today. And they're still used today for food labeling. So when you get, you look on the back of a food label, right? And it says 1000% of vitamin E or 250% of potassium. Do you guys see those things? Yeah, on the back of food labeling? This is what they're referring to based on the RDI. All right? Set in 1968. Do you think it needs an update? Yeah. Well, too bad, because they're not getting one. And they're still using them today. So this is how outdated a lot of this is about. All right? And the allowances were meant to provide superior nutrition for civilians and military personnel during the height of the Second World War. We're no longer at war. We do not have a food shortage. In fact, we have too much food. True? Right? And not enough nutrition. And this is the problem. We're still using the same standards. And that's why when they say you only need this much vitamin C, or you only need this much vitamin E, you only need this much vitamin, oh my god, USANA products have too much ingredients, no good. Compared to the RDIs, whoa. Do you get what I'm trying to say, guys? This is bare minimum for preventing any kind of acute nutritional deficiencies like scurvy. We don't have scurvy anymore. There's probably about 5 reported cases of scurvy around the world every single year. Less. And those are in really bad third world countries, like Africa and stuff like that, where they have no access to good food or water. Alright? So these things are no longer there. But the more updated one is called the DRI. DRI is actually more commonly used for recommending food and nutrition. They're called the dietary reference intake. These are updated every 10 years. And it was actually first set in 1997 based on the RDIs. And they were created to broaden them. But the problem with them is that it is still very inadequate. Alright? The levels are still very low. And so this is what they're used for. They're used for composing diets for schools, prisons, hospitals, and nursing homes. And we know those places have the best food, don't they? No? Alright, everybody got that joke? Okay. Industry developing new foods. Yeah? New foodstuffs, right? Healthcare policymakers and public health officials still use DRIs. They are a little bit better and a little bit higher. Their allowance is a little bit higher than the RDAs, but not by much. And of course, there is the third standard, which is not publicly used. And unfortunately, there's no one governing body to set these, but it's actually called the ODA, which is the optimal daily allowance. Now, what is the optimal daily allowance? Have you guys heard of the word optimal before? Yeah. Optimal daily allowance, it's constantly updated with new science. Alright? So whenever a new science comes out, the ODA for different things increases. I'll give you an example of the USANA essentials. Everybody here takes their essentials, yes? Awesome. I love the essentials. The essentials provide us 46 out of 66 nutrients our bodies need every single day. Do you guys know that? Right? And as the science comes out, USANA are constantly updating their product. Their latest update was to increase more iodine and increase more vitamin D, especially in Australia, because they realized that the entire Australian population was deficient in vitamin D. Do you know that? Australia is known as the sunny country, but our whole country is deficient in vitamin D. And so they had to increase the level of vitamin D in the essentials, and also iodine as well, to help mothers with, neural birth defects and different things like that. USANA is constantly looking at the science, doing their own research and updating it, and they allow up to the optimal amount. Optimal is also very important because that is the level where you can take a nutritional for a long period of time to help you prevent disease. Remember earlier I told you if you take it for 10, 20, 30 years, it helps you reduce chance of disease, yes? Yeah? Those are at optimal levels. Those are not at bare minimum levels, those are at optimal levels, which is a much higher level. Alright, they far exceed the levels of the DRI and the RDA, and they're used for maintaining optimal health for disease prevention. Okay, I'll let you guys feel free with that. So I want to show you some comparisons. Alright, let's just take something like vitamin E, right? An average diet gets about 21 international units. A good diet will get about 75. The RDA says 400, ODA says at least 440, if not higher. Because I want to talk about something else later on called upper limits, right? So 440 at the very minimum. Let's take something vitamin C. Average diet says it gets about 100 milligrams. Good diet will get about 200 milligrams. The RDA is only 60, but the ODA is 2,000. You need about 2,000. I want to talk a little bit about vitamin C. Did you know vitamin C is the only supplement our body, one of the only supplements our bodies can't create, right? Humans and guinea pigs are the only two animals in the entire animal kingdom that cannot create their own vitamin C. Did you know this? The only way we can get vitamin C is from dietary sources. And your body needs large amounts of it. There's an amazing doctor, his name is Dr. Linus Pauling. He's a double Nobel Prize winning scientist. And he did crazy experiments with large amounts of vitamin C. We're talking up to 20,000 milligrams a day, injected intravenously. And he created apoptosis in cancer cells. Do you guys know what apoptosis is? All right, it's when the cell starts killing itself. All right, so he did award-winning studies with these kind of things, but this was towards the end of his career. If you want to look up Dr. Linus Pauling, vitamin C. You'll be amazed at what it can do for you. Right? And that is well beyond the 2,000. We're talking up to 20,000 milligrams a day injected intravenously of vitamin C. I'm not telling you guys to do that. I'm not telling you guys. I'm just saying that there's a lot we don't understand yet about nutritionals, and that the ODA is much higher than the RDA across the board. You got 100 milligrams of B5 versus 10, double for folic acid. There isn't even an RDA set for omega-3s and 6s, but yet we know we need at least 1,700 to 1,000 milligrams a day, at least 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of calcium every single day. So that's the problem. RDAs are so damn low, and yet doctors, nutritionists, and all these people are telling you, you only need your RDAs. And as the entire population continues to eat levels at the RDA or below, our levels of disease are getting worse and worse and worse. Anyone see a pattern here? I'm seeing a pattern. I saw a huge pattern. All right, and I understood that optimal nutrition is not recognized yet, but it needs to be. There needs to be something done where every single person understands I need to take levels of nutrition at the optimal level. All right, let's go on. Now, the first part, of course, was the RDAs and how much we think we should eat. The second half of the problem is that even if we do eat lots of fruits and vegetables, there's a big problem with something called soil degradation. Do you guys know what soil degradation is? Yeah. So basically the soils that used to grow our foods are not as good as they used to be, let's say 50 or 100 years ago. Especially right after the Second World War, the world's population doubled and then tripled. Do you guys know that? After the Second World War, the world's population was standing at about 1.8 billion. Today, after about 50, 60 years, what is the world's population? Do you guys know? Sitting around 6 point something billion, right? About 7 billion people in the world. The world's population has tripled since the Second World War. And so what do you think happens to the amount of food we can produce? It needs to keep up somehow, true? And so that began a crazy process, a downward spiral of over-farming, using chemical fertilizers, using chemical preservatives, using chemical pesticides, and all these different things. And you can see that, where's Indonesia? Is this Indonesia here? Is that Indonesia, right? Or is that's Jakarta somewhere here? You can see that we have very degraded soil in Indonesia. Very degraded means above 75%. That means 50 years ago, you might have gotten a lot of nutrition, but today you're getting 75% less than you would have gotten 50 years ago. So yes, you might be eating the same things as your grandparents. You're eating lots of nangka, you're eating lots of tempeh, and all this stuff, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm so healthy, but you're actually not getting the right nutrients, and that's the problem. You guys got that? All right, so let's take a look at just something like a carrot. You guys like carrots? I love carrots, very nutritious foods. Let's just take a look at the changes between 1940 and 2013. 139% drop in sodium, 20% drop in potassium, 58% drop in iron. Can you see this? This is just carrot. There's other fruits and vegetables which are a lot worse than this. Just using carrot because it's a nice balanced example, all right? Let's continue looking. Look at in terms of all fruits and vegetables across the board. This is Davis et al. In the Journal of American College of Nutrition 2004. It's a published findings, all right? Do you see this in vegetables and fruit? 49% loss in potassium, 59% zinc. So all the minerals, all the nutrients that your body needs that you got from these fruits and vegetables, you're not getting them from your fruits and vegetables anymore. You might think you are, but you're not. They might look nice, but they're full of emptiness. They're nutritionally bankrupt, and that's a big problem. All right, that's a big problem. So what about organic? All right, a lot of people ask me this question, but it's okay. I don't care about those kind of fruits and vegetables. I eat organic. Anyone get people like that? Yeah, I have money. I can buy organic. Right, I eat organic or organic butter, organic yogurt, organic fruits and vegetables, organic nuts, everything. I'm so healthy. Well, guess what? The science says you're wrong. I'm sorry, but the science says you're wrong. If you're in this room and you're eating organic and you think it's more nutritious than normal food, you're actually wrong. Because they did an actual study. Are organic foods safer or healthier than conventional alternatives? And they tested a lot of range of organic fruits and vegetables, and the finding was they have lower levels of chemical fertilizers, toxins, fertilizers, and all that kind of pesticides and stuff, which is good. Organic is good, don't get me wrong, okay? Organic is not bad. You're going to get lower levels of toxins, but the problem is you're not getting any more levels of nutrition. They're grown in the same soil, they're just grown differently. Which means that the soil is screwed and it's nutritionally bankrupt. It doesn't matter how you grow it, nothing's going to get into it, even if it is organic. That's what the science is saying. So if you want to show people, here, write down this study. Smith-Spangler, 2012, Are Organic Foods Safe for Healthy and Conventional Alternatives? It's a systematic review. Science is telling you organic foods is not healthy enough. It is not any more nutritious than normal food. So just eating organic means absolutely nothing in terms of disease prevention and getting optimal levels of nutrients. Right? But if you were to eat a whole lot of fruits and vegetables, you'd rather eat organic than non-organic. Does that make sense, everyone? Good or good? Alright, awesome. Let's move on. So, my question to you is, by now, are you guys understanding? Do we need nutritional supplements? Yes or yes? Yes! That's right. Every single person in this room needs nutritional supplements. Would you guys agree? You guys all agree, right? Alright. Let's talk a little bit about other questions when it comes to nutritional supplements now. So some people do agree we do need nutritional supplements, but they have a lot of questions about our supplements or supplements in general. True? Yes. They ask questions like, what about safety? Is it okay to take that much? Raman, how much do you take? When I show them how much I take, and I've got this massive handful of pills, right, that's actually how much I take for breakfast. Kidding. It's not me. They get scared. They think, oh, is it safe for me? Is it okay to take that much? How much do I even really need? And so they're asking all these different types of questions. I want to address each of these things, all right? How much nutrition supplement do we take? Can I overdose die? Will I take too much supplements, hurt my liver and kidneys? I think these are very common ones that I've come across here in Indonesia. You guys think the same? Yes. Any other questions I didn't put up there that people always ask? No? Alright, great. So let's talk about one of these things. So how much do we actually need? I want to bring your attention to a book. It's called The Comparative Guide to Nutritional Supplements. Have you guys seen this book before? Yes. Alright, awesome. Do you guys want to know this book? Yes. Alright, awesome. So I want to show you guys a little bit something about this book. I need a helper. Someone come up here. Just hold this next to my mouth while I use this book. Thank you. What's your name, sir?
B.
B. Say thank you, B. Thank you for that. So I want to show you guys a little bit about this book. Inside of this book, how many guys have actually read it? Put your hand up. Read it from cover to cover. Actually understand all the science, read all the science. I'm a nutcase. I love reading this stuff. I don't know why, I just do. Anyway, inside of it, you'll find that it's absolutely amazing. They cite scientific study after scientific study about the benefits of nutrition and how much you actually need. So I want to point your attention to something in here called the blended standard. Have you guys seen the blended standard before? Yes. Do you guys know what the blended standard is? Yes? What is it? What's the blended standard?
I think it's like McWilliams asked like 13 experts to give like their own opinion of each vitamins, antioxidants, and they make a blended standard.
Okay.
To agree on.
Great, absolutely, excellent. Thank you very much. Is it?
Tia.
Tia, all right. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, B. Thank you, take a seat. So I want to show you attention to the blended standard. Basically, Lyle William, as part of NutriSearch, got together with 13 other experts in nutrition. We're talking bioengineers and also clinical nutritionists and also nutritionists and other things like that, right? They got together and they came up with what they would believe a perfect nutritional supplement should be. Right? Every single one of them talk about what a perfect nutritional supplement should be. And together they came up with a blended standard, which is an average of what everybody said. Right? And basically the perfect nutritional supplement, if you haven't seen this book, get a copy from your upline. They'll be able to provide you with a copy and take a look at this. This is how much we need. Do you see how many different ones we need? There's about 70-something different nutrients on this list. This last one is actually called non-essential, but everything above that is essential. Any scientists in the room? What does essential mean in science? Do you guys know? Necessary for life, absolutely. Thank you, Joe. That's right. So you see that there's actually 66 or so different nutrient supplements, nutritionals, that we need nutrients every single day. These include different vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phenolic compounds, bioflavonoids, all these different things we need every single day. So let me ask you a question. Are you getting enough or are you not getting enough? Are you getting 66 a day at least? Right? And down here we've got like omega-3s and different things like that, like glucosamine, or etc., that are non-essential. Now, this is what the science is saying. Your body needs this much every single day. So if you're not getting it, you're kidding yourself if you think you're getting enough and you're going to stay disease-free. You're kidding yourself if you think 1 in 10 chance of not getting disease is good enough for you if you do nothing about your health. I want everybody to wake up to the reality of health, of science. And this is what it's saying. You're not getting too much. This is the comparative guide. This is the blended standard. If you want to look it up a bit more. We can talk more about that other one. So another big question people ask me is, can I overdose? Can I die? Right? Everybody get asked that question. If I take too much supplements, I want to die. Anyone say that to you? Yes? Alright, so I want to take a look at statistics, right? From 1994 to 2004 in the US, how many cases of death were related to nutritional supplements? Well, the answer is about 6. 7 from minerals, 7 from minerals, 0 from vitamins, 1 from a multiple supplement, and 6 from a herbal homeopathic remedy and things like that. So if you take out the herbal and the homeopathic, because USANA doesn't do any of that stuff, we just take a look at the minerals and the vitamins. 7 total deaths in the last 10 years. 7. Is that a lot? Is that a lot, guys? 7 deaths. And let me show you what these are. Unintended infant ingested too much iron. Unintended infant ingested too much iron. Unintended infant ingested too much iron. These happen when kids were left unsupervised, found a bottle of prenatal supplements, and just started chugging it, thinking they're candy or something. That's the only reason these people died unnecessarily. So if you watch your kids, all these would have been prevented. That's it. Does that make sense, guys? So there is no actual way for you to kill yourself with a supplement. Not really, right? Does that make sense, everyone? Do you see this? But let's take a look on the other hand. Are people more willing to take a nutritional or go down to Century and buy themselves some Panadol? Panadol?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to take Panadol, right? Let's take a look at what happens when you take too much actual pharmaceutical medicine. 1 death every 24 minutes. Drugs are now the #1 accidental killer in the US. Over 212,000 deaths a year from FDA-approved drugs. FDA-approved pharmaceutical drugs. These are things your doctor recommends to you, readily recommends to you and gives to you, writes you prescriptions for. Take it. Take this pill for this and take this pill for that. Take this pill for the effects those other 2 pills are going to give you, and take this 3rd pill so you can fix it all together. True? Doctors will give you a pill for everything, right? I had a little bit of a scratchy rash here because I brushed something here. I went to a doctor here in Indonesia. First thing he does, takes one look and starts writing me pills. I said, no thank you, and I left. It went away by itself in a few days. My point is, doctors overprescribe us all the time. It's not their fault, it's just what they were taught. So if you're a doctor in the room, I completely understand. That's what you were taught at university. When you get met with a patient, your first line is to see what kind of drug will help them. True? Doctors are taught all about pharmaceutical drugs. They know exactly, if you have this problem, take this drug, you'll get that bit resolved. So it's not their fault they're over-medicating you, that's what they were taught. They weren't taught any better. So if you are not already sick and you want to prevent illness, don't go down the path of waiting for a disease or a problem to happen and then popping a pill. Take your nutritionals every single day so you can prevent disease. Does that make sense? Let's continue. All right, this is actual study done on how much drugs actually affect death. And you can see that drug overdose actually increased for 11 consecutive years in 2010. Now this is just overdose. Overdose, out of these 200,000 or so deaths, overdose accounts for about 40,000 of them. 40,000 is accounted for by overdosing on things like Panadol. So the other 160 or so thousand is from normal usage. It's from normal usage. You're just using the wrong one from the wrong doctor, or mistakes with doctors, etc., things like that. Does that make sense, guys? Only 40,000 are from overdose. You can look at the actual statistics down here somewhere. So, right? 38,329 drug overdose deaths out of the 200,000 or so. Can you guys believe that? So you thought all this was overdose. It's not. 170,000 of them was just from normal people using normal drugs. And only 40,000 was overdose. So that's why the next time you want to reach for a Panadol, you want to reach for an aspirin, or what's the other thing, they got Migrex here and stuff, or migraine, stop, think again, right? If you really don't want to do damage to your bodies, or you don't want your friends to do damage to their bodies, educate them. Understand? Educate them, all right? So let's continue. So I want to talk about something called upper limits. Have you guys heard of upper limits? All right. So upper limits is how much is deemed scientifically or medically safe for you to ingest per day of certain nutrients. And so something like vitamin E is about 1,000 milligrams, where the DRI is only 15. Vitamin C is about 2,000 milligrams, DRI is 90. Calcium is about 2,500 milligrams, DRI is only about 1,000. So you can see the DRIs are very, very low compared to what our upper limits are. And the thing with this, a lot of different nutrients, you don't even really have proper upper limits here. So these are all the upper limits, total upper limits, and there's a lot of different vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants and stuff like that. You can see that the numbers are actually quite high. If you take that a look at the upper limits compared to our USANA essentials, we're nowhere near the upper limits. A lot of our nutrients get close to the upper limits, but we're not there yet, which means you're well more than safe consuming your essentials and your other nutrients every single day. And I'm talking about combining a lot of our different products together. Right? Combining a lot of our different products together. You're gonna be very, very safe. And there's certain nutrients where you can't overdose at all. I'll give you an example, vitamin D. Vitamin D, very essential, right? Yes? What's vitamin D useful for? Yeah, for works with calcium, what else? Immune support, that's right. Vitamin D is actually amazing. It is like the jack of all trades. It is anti-inflammatory. Do you guys know that? It's antimicrobial. It's antiviral. It does a lot of different functions inside of your body. Vitamin D is one of those essential nutrients. And what they've done is they've done testing on how much milligrams you can take, and they did this in mice. And what they found was that if you inject a mice up to even 8,000 milligrams of vitamin Ds, what happens is there's neural back pathways which detoxes. The more you input, the more the body detoxes. So it gets to a point of what we call diminishing return. So if you take too much, actually does absolutely nothing because the body just detoxes it out. But the problem is, and the result of that test experiment is that you can't overdose on things like vitamin D and also vitamin E and other things like that. The body has built-in mechanisms to clean that out. That's what I love about our cells and our body. They're absolute miracles. Have you guys read the book Invisible Miracles by Dr. Wentz? Get that book. It is beautiful. He talks all about the human body and the cells and how they work. And it's very intelligent. When your body needs something, it'll look for it. If it can't find it, it'll do its best. So it's better to give your body what it needs and not need it than to not give your body what it needs and not have it. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah, absolutely. So what about my liver and kidneys? That's a common one, yes? What if I take too much supplements? Want to hurt my liver, want to hurt my kidneys? Oh, I can't take that much. Oh my God, how many pills are you taking, Raman? What's wrong with you? Right? Yeah. I had one person look at the amount I'm taking and they say, Raman, mau mati? I said, no, it's the opposite. Mau hidup. Yeah? I want to live. That's why I'm taking it. So let's take a look at some of these things. Well, two vitamins and two things I want to bring up is vitamin A. Vitamin A has potential toxicities. Alright? You can get body in vitamin A in terms of alpha and beta carotene. USANA uses beta carotene. And the problem with taking vitamin A is that if you take too much vitamin A, when you have impaired liver function, you can actually potentially create toxicity inside of your liver. That's what the study finds. People with impaired liver function taking large amounts of vitamin A, we're talking large amounts, over 10,000 milligrams a day of vitamin A, will get toxicity in their livers. Sure? Alright, so basically now you understand. So, USANA, we do not have vitamin A. We use beta carotene. It is water soluble, it stays in your system safe, and when your body needs it, it'll convert it into vitamin A, and when it doesn't need it, it'll just get passed out. Does that sound good? Yes. Aren't you glad you guys trusted your health to USANA, that we're very smart? Yeah? Awesome. Yeah, so here's some of the, that's the thing for, and the other thing is also, it causes birth defects and things like that if you take too much. So USANA has none of those. So if your friends take some other kind of supplement, make sure there's no vitamin A in it for their safety, yeah? That's one thing we always need to check. And the second one is iron. The second potential toxicity is iron. Alright? So I know there's a lot of iron in prenatals and people think that we need extra iron, but the truth of the matter is you actually don't really need an iron supplement. You get more than enough in your diet. If you want to increase the bioavailability of vitamin C, of iron, then take vitamin C. Okay? When you take vitamin C, you increase the bioavailability of iron in your diet by up to 400%. Okay? Which means if you take 100 milligrams and the bioavailability is low, you don't absorb a lot of that. By taking vitamin C with it, you increase the amount you absorb. Everyone understand what I mean? So you get plenty of iron in your diets. Just take more vitamin C and you'll absorb all the iron you need. Alright? If you don't have an acute deficiency in iron, you're not like diagnosed with any kind of anemia, don't need iron. Okay? Because iron has a lot of potential toxicities. In high doses, it's a potent oxidant and a free radical generator inside your body. And it can create a lot of oxidative damage with cholesterol and onset of atherosclerosis. Do you guys know atherosclerosis? It's your hardening of your arteries. Right? When your arteries get really hard. The iron and the cholesterol work together, make your arteries like krupuk. You guys know what I mean? We are krupuk, okay. You don't want your arteries like krupuk, right? You want it nice and soft, yes? Yeah, alright. And of course, iron overdose increases risk of infection, cancer, and myocardial infarction, which is basically heart attack. So if you don't need to take an iron supplement, don't take one. You don't need it. Okay? You can get plenty from your diet, just take lots of vitamin C to increase the bioavailability of the iron in your diets. Alright? USANA does not contain vitamin A. USANA Essentials does not contain iron. But we do contain lots of vitamin C and beta-carotene. So that's why you can trust your healthy USANA. So here's the problem with all this stuff. That's why there's a big need for nutritionals that you can trust. Yes? Yeah. What is in Bahasa Nutrisi Percayaan? Yeah? Or something like that. I'm learning, alright? So nutritionals you can trust. When USANA was first founded in 1992, its tagline was not your health, your life, your way. Its tagline was always nutritionals you can trust. And for 20 years, USANA lived by that. Nutritionals you can trust. And of course, the production, the pharmaceutical grade GMP, the potential and the purity is something that every single supplement in the world needs to adhere by. USANA produces everything by ourselves. We do it all in-house. If you guys are coming with us to the USA in August, later next month, come with us, visit the facilities. You get to see how the products are made. Did you know that in the USANA production line, they do quality tests at over 400 times per product? 400 times. From start to finish, that product will get tested 400 times before it gets put into a bottle. That's how much quality control USANA does. You can't get that when you outsource, and you can't watch that, but USANA can, because we do it all in-house. Second, we adhere to pharmaceutical grade GMPs. Pharmaceutical grade good manufacturing practices as set by the US Pharmacopoeia and the British Pharmacopoeia. Those are the highest standards of pharmaceutical production. We know USANA is not a pharmaceutical product, but yet we are made to that same grade. They guarantee for things like disintegration, which is how quick it breaks down. We guarantee for things like potency, alright? Which is the next thing I want to talk about. Potency. How much do you need to get a desired result? That's basically what it means in medical science, right? Potency of a drug. But USANA is not a drug, but we know that if you take this certain amount for long periods of time, the science has shown that your chance of getting a disease drops. You can prevent diseases, alright? And we know that with a lot of the clinical research and the data and the studies that have been done, which I showed you, that 51-page document, that if you have an existing condition, using nutritionals can actually aid your body. I'm not saying it's going to cure it. None of those things says you get cured, but you can improve your condition. Alright, I think that's compliant, isn't that right, William? Alright, and of course purity. Free from potential toxicities. USANA has no vitamin A, no iron, no potential toxicities. Our ingredients start out with ingredients. They're so pure. When we get it from our suppliers, the first thing they do is, if you ever talk to Dr. John Cuomo from our science facility, he'll tell you all about it. When we get in our raw ingredients, they don't use them straight away. The first thing they do is, they put it into cold storage, into quarantine for 6 months. After 6 months, they'll start testing. They'll test it for water levels, a pH balance, everything, mold levels, residue, toxicities, anything. And if there's anything wrong with that batch, they'll send it back and never do business with that client again. This is how strict USANA are with their quality control. And so, what are nutritionals you can trust, guys? For me, it's the USANA Essentials, and it always has been. I was lucky that the first nutritional supplement I was ever introduced to was USANA. And it was lucky my mom did that for me. And it had an amazing effect on my health, and I know it has an amazing effect on your health. So we have an amazing gift here at USANA. I want everyone in this room, I want USANA Indonesia, right? How we're going to set ourselves apart from other companies and other products is we are going to be the most highly skilled, most knowledgeable, and most educated group of associates in all of network marketing. Agree? Yes? That's right. So that's why education like this is super important. I know a lot of this is very sciencey, but understand that when you're better educated, you can better serve the people around you. And you know, with USANA Essentials, you have an amazing gift. So go out there and share this gift with those around you. And so with Essentials, remember, they're for everybody, every day, for life. Thank you guys very much.